This is Seven Dooms for Sandpoint, Chapter 2, Strange Times in Sandpoint, Episode 23. Hold on, my music cues aren't working. It is the next day. Following the events of the town council meeting, as well as hanging out at the Rusty Dragon, attempted carousing elsewhere. I forget the name of the place you went to. Where did you go? The feed bag?
Feed bag, yes. The feed bag.
You went to the feed bag and tried to coerce some people into fighting, but you were rather ineffective at that.
Ineffective? They just couldn't. That's not ineffective, is it?
Well, did what you want to happen?
No.
Like that Will Ferrell TikTok. It's like, did that go the way you think it was going to go? Nope.
But you did end up having, Moa wound up having a rather intense nightmare surrounding his affliction, cursed by the mother of monsters, Lamashtu, by his own actions during the ritual, the Speak with Dead ritual. It is now the next day. During the previous day, which is like 2 sessions ago, many of you had done various acts of research regarding rumors around Rip Nugget, a little bit about the pit, and about some other topics, learning the best way to get to the pit, etc. It is a new day. I've lost track on the calendar what day it is, only because I haven't looked at the calendar in in a minute. But it's a new day. What are you all doing? Are you all planning to? Were you meeting up somewhere? Are you individually taking care of some things? Is there anybody who wants to do it? Let me say, is there anybody that wants to take care of anything individually right now? Moa, Lumi. Let's start with Moa.
Moa in the morning would actually get up. He would get up early and he would go see if Father Zaddy is available.
Somehow it just sounds worse when you call him Father Zaddy.
Well, yeah. But
yeah, I think Father Xantus is an early riser. And you go to the cathedral and you find him. Actually, you would find him in his study first thing in the morning.
Okay.
Do you just show up at his door, knock on his door, or?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, you see him wearing his cathedral robes with Desna specific vestments. He seems to be writing into a scrawling something on parchment, but as he hears your knock at his door frame, he quickly sets down his quill and sets the parchment aside. Moa'Kee, what brings you to the cathedral so early in the morning?
I know it's a bit awkward for me to come visit you alone without the rest of the group, but I kind of wanted to ask your assistance with something a little bit more personal.
Oh, I'm happy to help in whatever way I may.
Well, I'm hoping that is true. It appears that in light of last evening's testimony of myself to the council. I did suffer a little bit of an injury at the ritual, and I need your assistance to possibly heal it.
I'm sorry to hear that may have happened. What is it that occurred?
And I unbandage, and I just the elongated cursed hand kind of show him. I'm like, this actually, when I seem to have crossed the veil when I was trying to help with the ritual, and seem to have gotten the attention of the mother of monsters.
I imagine when he pulls out the hand, there is a moment where Zaddy goes, Jesus! Oh my God.
No, I was actually weighing that, and I think Father Xantus has
a little bit more polite.
established he has a little more tact, and he does.
Oh, he doesn't. It's a great bosom. What is that?
Saren Ray's tits.
You got Jay with that one.
I was drinking at the same time.
Yes.
I did not. I kept it. Anyways, thank you very much. Yes, unfortunately, I'm not sure if it's a blessing, a curse, an affliction, a disease, whatever it is, but it appears I may have gotten the attention of the mother of monsters, and this with this. Any possible way you can get rid of it?
Please sit down.
Oh,
Allow me
okay.
to. Let me take a look at this.
Examine it. I tried looking at it myself, and I got a little bit of. It's. I don't know if it's a curse or a beacon.
I dare say there is very little that would come from the mother of monsters that would be considered anything other than a curse or a bane of some sort.
Well, unfortunately, this one has come with a little additional effects that I'm really not liking.
Additional effects in what way?
Like I said, I think it's almost a beacon. Because she's trying to communicate with me, and I'm not really liking her affections these days. I mean, maybe sometime, but right now, no.
He moves some things on his desk, and he, in the corner between the wall and a bookshelf, there's almost like a vase that's got a few longer rolls of parchment or maps or charts or something. There's an umbrella cane in there, and there's a little rolled up, almost like a prayer rug, and he pulls that out and he sort of lays it across that end of his desk and has you lay the arm across the desk, and he starts to look at it. He takes out a couple of wooden implements. They look almost like knitting needles or chopsticks or, something similar like that, where he's just sort of poking and prodding at the skin a little bit.
And I almost like right as he's I jerk the hand out like if it was not moving by itself. And I'm like, oh, sorry.
Well, the bad news is that this is definitely a curse of Lamashtu. The good news is that you caught me while I was in the midst of preparing my daily rituals and spells. If you can wait a little bit, I will... Oh, wait. Never
Got a
mind.
cantrip that
So-
is get rid of evil arm.
No,
It's
I
a very
actually
specific
have-
spell. Oh,
I actually have Cleanse Affection prepared.
Cleanse
By
affection,
default.
you say.
Zaddy is so locked in, bro. He is a money.
Well,
Let's
the
go.
one... So, there's a couple different sources, and the one source I was looking at, he didn't have it. But that's because it had changed from... It's one of the things that changed from Remove Curse to Cleanse Affliction. Let's see.
Oh, side chat's popping off, everybody. Oh my god, dude.
There doesn't seem to be...
Oh my god.
There doesn't seem to be a role associated with this, so it seems that he just has to spend the 10 minutes. Yeah, he just has to spend the 10 minutes cleansing the affliction from you. Let me check that went to the default one. Targets one willing creature. I feel like it should have to roll against the curse, shouldn't it?
Feels like
General
it.
restorative magic pushes back the effects of toxins and more complex maladies. Choose an affliction on the target, such as a curse, disease, or poison. If it has advanced past stage 1, reduce the stage by... Oh, okay.
Yep. So
That's what it
it's-
is.
Yep.
Fortunately, you are only in stage 1 of the curse.
Mm-hmm.
And your luck is with you that I have it prepared for you today. Or had it prepared. I'll be honest.
That might be one of the reasons why I came this early, in case you could add it to your preparedness.
To be honest. There's enough things around Sandpoint and the regions around here that occasionally people are sticking their noses where they don't belong. Not that it's insinuating that for you. Besides, you did this in the course of helping me, so of course I will help you. And for the next 10 minutes, he pulls a few components, a couple vials of things like holy water, like a blessed oil. There's actually a small leather case that he pulls aside, and inside there is a very finely embroidered cloth that's embroidered with all around the border is various. It's like if somebody had embroidered with thread that was colored with all the colors of the spectrum. So it moves through the colors of the spectrum as it's embroidered with butterflies and blessed with the blessings of Desna, as he lays that across your arm. And after the 10 minutes, he places his hand on the cloth and pulls it away. And your arm looks exactly the same. The one finger still bent backwards.
Ew.
The long curled fingers. How do you react when you see your hand with nothing changed?
Well, did you do it right, Father?
listen. You are very good at what you do. So you have to trust that I'm very good at what I do.
Yes.
At that moment, the finger that's bent the wrong way snaps into place. You start to feel a feeling and hear a sound like all of your knuckles are popping at once as your fingers start going, and those extra finger segments and knuckles begin to fade away. Your nails painfully retract.
Mm-hmm.
It's over the course of another 10 minutes that your hand... I'm going to need you to make a... What's a con?
Fortitude?
Fortitude save. I want you to make a fortitude save to see if you stay conscious during this.
I rolled an 18, which is not a very good roll for me.
You don't fully pass out, but you get very lightheaded and your eyes start to roll back in your head, and you kind of fall back against the back of the chair that you're sitting on in the final moments of your hand sort of snapping back into place. And you just sort of, everything kind of goes for a moment. And then you sort of slowly come back to. At the end of which, all of your knuckles hurt.
Oh, yeah.
You feel like you punched a brick wall about 100 times. But your hand, not only is it restored to normal, but the skin looks very pink and fresh, like a brand new fresh layer of skin has been revealed.
And the first words out of his mouth as he comes and goes, "That bitch. Wow. That hurt. Oh, Father, if I ever run into her, please remind me to call her that to her face." Wow.
I don't normally condone such language, but in this case, I think it's well earned.
Yes, thank you. I greatly appreciate this.
Well, as I've said to you and all of your friends, my services are available to you should you need them at all times.
I appreciate that very much. Don't worry, a bill will be sent to the Scarnettis for this, so you should be getting some payment soon.
He kind of looks at you curiously and then decides not to pursue that.
And with that, gracefully thanks, Father. And again, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I think we've got some research to do today and potentially some additional adventuring. So with that, hopefully no assassins are on my back.
And I think after Moa leaves, that he starts to just clean up. He does a brief cleansing ritual on his tools and things that were used. I don't know. Is there a whatever like a prestidigitation would be kind of a thing, just to clean everything up, and he's kind of putting everything away. If this is when you decide you wish to talk to him, Lumi.
Yeah, Father Xanthus' door is a bit of a revolving door. As Moa leaves, a little bit later, a few moments, Lumi will step in and kind of knock on the open door. Father, she says, in a timid and a leading tone of she's something she wants to ask.
Oh, good morning, Lumi.
Good morning, Father. Can we talk? Is this a good time?
Of course it is. Is everything all right? Please. Any motions to the same seat that Moa
She
was
steps
sitting
in.
in.
She steps in and closes the door behind her. She doesn't sit for this. I wanted to ask, when they brought my egg here, is what Natalin said true? That they wanted to get rid of me? They wanted to throw me away?
Yes. Yes, that was true then. There was much concern about the, well, lack of knowledge of the provenance of the egg that was brought. Many people were scared. But there were many that were not, myself included, were able to convince people that they had nothing to fear. And you've seen yourself how many of the people in this town, most of the town, since you hatched, have done nothing but adore you. I hope you are not letting this trouble you, Lumi. This is something that happened a long time ago.
And she tries her best to remain calm and centered from this, but there's a bit of a quiver to her voice. I thought Sandpoint was home, and just to think that there were people here that didn't want me, and you had to override them and say, no, we're raising this egg. Did they all just learn to tolerate me?
Lumi.
It's a lot. I
People
was stunned to hear it.
People do not just tolerate you. People love you. I love you. People were afraid of what could be. They were afraid of what they didn't know. They had no idea what was going to hatch out of that egg. You have to understand that at the time that your egg came to us, we were only just a couple years past the events that had torn this town apart. People were still very scared. You saw last night, there are people that are still scared. But I can tell you this. The love that you have seen from the people of this town for you, since you began running through its streets and careening through the alleys and running amok, is very real. And that is what you should be most focused on.
Thanks, Father. I wanted to know what it was like, my egg. Where do you know where it came from?
Your egg was brought here by an adventurer.
Do you know where they got it from?
I do. Your egg. Your egg was claimed by this adventurer from the lair of a dragon. But I don't believe that the dragon from whose lair your egg was acquired was the mother of your egg, if that makes sense. I believe that this dragon had within its hoard the egg of another dragon. Or more precisely, the egg of another dragonkin kobold, if that makes sense. Obviously, if you were a full-blown dragon egg, well, we wouldn't be having this conversation in this room. It'd be a much larger
I'd be a little
place.
bit bigger than the
Yes.
little kobold that I am.
But the funny thing about dragonkind eggs is they have a tendency to take on some of the characteristics of the area in which they spent the most time. The dragon that, or dragonkin that nurtured that egg. And sometimes, if dragon egg or dragonkind egg is taken from one dragon to another dragon and is there for long enough, some of that dragon's influence will begin to seep into that egg. Suffice it to say, based on my own research and from what this adventurer told me, I believe that your egg was cultivated by at least 2 different dragons. And I have every reason to believe, in fact, I have over 13 years of dedicated field expertise that tells me that it was some sort of cloud dragon that had the most influence. I mean, look at you. You positively exude everything of the dragons of the sky, of the cloud dragons. But there is the fact that your egg was not claimed from the lair of a cloud dragon. We don't know how long before this adventurer claimed your egg, but it lay in the lair of a black dragon.
She pauses. I wanted you to also take a look at something. They're getting really sore again. And she turns around to show her back to Father Xantus. And she reaches back and pulls up her shirt off of her chest.
As you're doing that, he kind of says, "Are they coming in?" Oh my god, that sounded awful. that sounded awful. Just
I
keep
can't
going.
see for myself there. And she like gestures that
Her
she
back.
can't look.
Oh, Bubba's.
At her back.
I know.
He looks, and now this part I'm not 100% on. So for this physical feature, what are we looking at in terms of size?
Little tiny stubby things that are now starting to take a little bit of shape, but they're not at all full sized.
Typical.
It's not at all how I thought this was going to go. I didn't think about this at all.
Lumi's sitting there just expectantly, like with her arm still in her sleeves, so like her shirt
What are you
off of her.
Back
She's
there.
like, I can't see for myself.
So I think that we see from Father Xanthus' point of view as he's looking at your back, and specifically in the area around the shoulder blades where we see the beginnings of, I think at this point they're very defined. What previously might have looked like oversized scapula, it's very clear now that these are the beginnings of wings taking shape. And we see where the armature of the wing is, the pearlescent scales continue across. And the wings themselves are almost gossamer. They're more akin to fairy or dragonfly wings, in the sense that they're still growing in. They don't have they're nowhere near strong enough to be able to do what they may be able to do one day. But Father Xanthus kind of traces along the lines of the armature of these wings, looking. He kind of lightly touches your shoulder and just says, "Are you okay if I examine them?"
And I think like upon a touch, that side will like flinch a little bit, and she'll like, it's tender.
I think it's involuntary too, that the wings do sort of, at that touch, and when you say that, they sort of reflexively, they just open just a little bit, and the armatures extend out. It's not very big at all. Lumi's not very big, and these wings are even in respect to your size, not very big. But that's when we see that the tips of the armatures and the wings themselves that start with this sort of gossamer look, they look as though they've been dipped in shadow.
Ooh.
It almost looks like, with that translucent nature of the wing membranes, it almost looks like you have these pearlescent I keep calling them armatures. I don't really know what the proper word would be. But the wing armatures are all pearlescent and scale covered, but it almost looks like smoke or shadow forms the membrane of
Dipped
the wing.
in ink. Mhm.
Yeah, very much the dipped in ink appearance. And he says, well, they look very healthy. They look like they are coming in very nicely. They may hurt for a while and be tender as they continue to grow. But I think
I just
in
don't
time,
expect him to grow so quickly.
you are growing very quickly. In time, you will have a very beautiful and powerful set of wings. He does not tell you about the inky nature of them. I think there's a part of Father Xanthus that is hoping that this is something that, as they mature, will go away. But actually, what is his? 1 + 24. me just do a quick roll here.
Hey, while Jake does a quick roll, check us out on redbubble.com. At redbubble.com, we got all kinds of great t-shirts like the one I'm wearing and so many others. You can get our logos on t-shirts, tank tops, hoodies, mugs, stickers, notebooks, postcards, pillows, and all kinds of other cool stuff. There's almost always a deal at redbubble.com, especially if it's your first time, so check us out today. That's redbubble.com. Just search Mini Terrain Domain.
I do believe they're having an up to 40% off sale going on right now on certain
I'll be damned.
items.
Bought some shirts last night, early this morning, and got 30% off my purchase.
Oh, nice.
Hey!
Yeah, they do a lot of sales, and I've been hearing really good stuff from people buying
Quality's
shirts
good, too.
from them. The quality
I
is
got a
really
few.
good. I've never had a problem with their quality. It's part of why I went with them. So,
Turn around.
no, I think Xanthus for now does not say anything.
Do you think that I could like tie them and kind of bind them a little bit? I'm worried that they might catch on something. Or do you think that I need to make sure that they're not too restricted?
I think your comfort is going to have to dictate that. I do fear that if you bind them, you may prevent them from growing as they are intended to grow. But if they are a source of discomfort for you, physically or mentally, then that is a choice you will have to make.
And she kind of like gives her back a little bit of a stretch, and then slides her shirt back on. Thanks, Father.
We may have to see about having some custom shirts made for you.
Okay.
I can't remember who the
Shoot,
person is that
brain
does
swing.
textiles
Oh,
or sells clothes. There's like a clothes shop in town, and I can't remember off the top of my head which place it is, but
I don't want them poking out of my armor. Not yet, at least.
no, just something to think about. For now, again, your comfort should dictate it, but when you're ready, we'll get you a training armor. We'll get you a training harness for your wings.
You're gonna go to the mall with your mom. It's right past
The underwire, it kind of digs into the. it digs into my
I don't
stocking
like
a
it.
little
I don't
bit.
like it. I'm just gonna get a sports armor. It's fine.
You telling me I have to go up another cup size next
Oh
year?
my
Oh
god.
my goodness. What's the point of even getting one?
I'm glad we all handled that, myself included, extremely maturely and didn't giggle at all about the double entendres.
Oh. Lumi
And
is
with
becoming
that-
a young woman.
With that concludes Lumi's scene with Father Xanthus.
I think when you leave, there's this moment where Father Xanthus just sort of sits down, plops down in his chair, and kind of sighs just with that sort of 1,000-yard dad stare. Just, and it's a little bit of that. Oh boy, it's a little bit of Tony Danza having to deal with Sam buying her first training bra and who's the boss. I'm
Fucking
sure.
Audrani needs to come back like once a while.
but also-
just to...
But also, I think there's an element of he's also concerned about seeing the inky black aspects, that there's definitely some signs of the Black Dragon's influence.
Cool.
None of which was voiced to you. But at a certain point, you'll probably be able to see it, so, or somebody else. All right. Anybody else? Or are you all going to meet up?
Yeah, I think Velynia would. I don't need a scene or anything for this, but I think she is keeping an eye out constantly. Ever since the night of the meeting, she's keeping an eye out constantly for the Whisperer that is in Sandpoint, like who it might be, who she's suspecting, etc. Who has connections? Like who would it be?
Make me.
Oh, we need dice for this game.
Yeah. Make me a perception check.
Gladly.
What kind of Yeah, make a perception check for now.
Okay. 21.
I think that I'm just checking to see if there was
Kaeryn, that's one down. Thank you. On to the other 20,000.
Yeah, with that 21, you've not seen anything, which is not surprising, given that in all the time you've been here, there's been a whisperer, and you've not had any notion of it. Right. Not only is there a whisperer, there was the one that actually was going to try to kill you.
And I think Velynia too is like pissed off about that, like not having been like wholly unaware, apparently, that there's another one of us somewhere here. So.
All right. So, is your plan to meet up as a group and head out into the hinterlands, or what is your plan?
Yeah. Oh, real quick. Millie's gonna buy some scrolls, and I was prepared to roleplay this out.
Oh yeah, that's right. We did talk about that.
With my unstable internet connection, I'm not necessarily sure we want to attempt this.
Give me a second.
This would be the Curious Goblin with Chask Halidin.
Ooh.
Let's see. Yeah, we've got Chask Halidin. You guys went into this store before, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
What are you looking?
It's not as exciting as the alchemy store that sprays you with shit when you walk in, but
still pretty great.
Now this is the Curious Goblin. Despite the fact that it's a cramped but well organized bookshop, it is a place that lives up to its name because there are always people on the front porch of the Curious Goblin that are reading books or just sitting. I like to think of the Curious Goblin as a place that's kind of like a Cracker Barrel, in that it's got at least about 8 or 10 old like rocking chairs on its front porch. Dude, where people just sit for a spell.
Do they call it sitting for a spell?
Well, of course they do.
I'm sure they do. There's a little sign like from Home Goods that says sit for a spell, but spell has like sparklies around it, indicating there is magic items for sale here.
Yeah, it's magically enchanted that once every 10 minutes, the letters spell, they sort of shimmer out of existence and then come back in, and there's like a little wind chime sound. And sometimes people gather will literally wait just to see if they can see that come to. The actual sign above that depicts a wide-eyed goblin reading an upside-down book, nearly as big as the goblin is. And inside the shop, Chask Halidin, you can tell that this is a man who loves books and has collected books for a very long time. And often when shipments are coming from the north or south of various trade shipments, there's always at least a couple boxes of books that show up at the Curious Goblin.
Is Chaska?
Sorry, you cut out. His
Put
chest
a
what?
number on it. Estimate.
You cut out. What did you say?
Oh, is Chask an older guy?
Chask is elderly.
Silver Fox.
He's over 70.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, definitely an older guy. Anyway, yeah. So he's in there. I think he's got on the counter. He's going through the latest stack of books that had come in for delivery, and in addition to cataloging him, he's also found himself reading through them. So he's at the counter with his various logbooks and catalogs, but he's about a third of the way through a stack of books. And when you come walking into the store, he turns to you, and as if you had been in conversation already, as if you had already been in the store for 10-15 minutes, he turns to you and he goes, "Did you know that a cockatrice bite can turn you to stone? But their
Well,
eggs
is
are
that
considered
right?
delicacies."
Well, I suppose that if they're the ones doing the biting, then it makes sense that you turn to stone. But if you're the one doing the biting, well, that'd be a little bit of a different situation.
I wonder, could a person turn a cockatrice to stone by biting them? And he begins flipping through the book, goes to the end. I guess I'll have to keep reading.
Well, you let me know how that turns out. Oh,
In the meantime, and he reluctantly he sets the book down very carefully and reaches across the counter, and he places from a collection of bookmarks that he has. He just grabs one that happens to be like a black ribbon and lays it gently and closes the book. I assume you're here for something you'd like to purchase or like me to order, rather than to hear fun facts from some place called the Forgotten Realms or some such.
crossover. Oh, Chask, I'm hoping that you can help me. It looks I'm fixing to get a couple of scrolls. Alexa, stop. Alexa, stop.
Alexa is his shop
Christ.
cat, and Alexa is currently like batting Millie, like the way cats
It is
do
now
like 100
canon.
times.
It is now canon that Chask has a shop cat named
Bodega
Alexa.
cat.
Sorry about that.
Alexa, stop.
Well, it turns out that the next place that me and my crew have got to go involves another very large hole. And I'm no spring chicken. Funny, chicken. Just talking about cockatrices. I'm hoping that you've got a couple scrolls that might help me out a little bit.
Well, I suppose that depends on what you're looking for.
Well, I'm fixing to get a couple of scrolls of gecko grip to make that trip back up a little easier. And a couple of scrolls of gentle landing to possibly make the descent a little easier.
Oh my god, I love this. Millie ran to the CVS to get some knee braces and some Tylenol.
Right? And if it helps,
I've got the
Gecko
prices.
Grip is rank 2, Gentle Landing's rank 1. Yeah.
And you're wanting 2, 3 of each? What are you wanting?
Oh, just 2 of each. I was thinking maybe it might be a good idea to pick up one for everybody in my crew, but unfortunately, my coin purse is a little light.
Yeah, as you get up there,
But I've got enough for me.
these gecko grips, they're a few extra gold, but they're worth it if you're going to be in a situation where you need, well, to grip like a gecko.
I figure it'll make the ascent that much easier.
Well, let's see. 2 scrolls of gecko grip, and I imagine there's an area sort of behind the counter. It's one of those things where it's got, you see 2 or 3 of these divided shelves, and there's scrolls tucked into all these little square compartments. But he can also take one and slide them over, and behind it is a whole additional layer where he can slide them behind. And so you notice, though, that though you specifically asked for gecko grip and what was the other one called? Gentle
Descent.
Gentle
For the
Descent.
D&D people, that's Spider Climb and Featherfall.
So they
Thank you.
are alphabetically pretty close together, or should be. But they are many, many, many of the little compartments away. Yet he seems to know exactly where they are.
Millie's not even going to try to understand his system. It's fine.
And he pulls 2 scrolls of each. Let's see. This is going to be 12 and 24, and these are 4, and 4 is 8. That would be 32. Let's just call it 30.
Oh my. Oh, Chask, I'm going to have to bring you some of the sourdough next time I make it. Or maybe some cookies.
Oh.
Cookies? Peanut butter?
Oh, I can do the peanut butter. I can do special little crisscrossies on the top.
Oh my god.
Make a impression.
Oh. Why, of course. Let's see.
That's Millie's thing.
Yeah. That's a 16 on a die, so that's 29.
That's so I don't have full stats for every single character, but I do have a couple base stats, and the DC to win him over would have been a 29. Roll me.
Is it meet or beat?
Roll me a D. Roll me a D6.
3.
For the crisscross marks on the peanut butter cookies, and he'll slide 3 gold back to you.
Oh.
27 gold.
See, this is how you get return business. He's got his fucking finger on the pulse.
All right.
And Millie thanks him kindly and gives some scritches to Alexa.
Who was that? I couldn't quite hear. I'm just kidding.
Alexa, order more scrolls.
Oh god, the chaos. Somebody watching this, like, on their speakers, their shit's gonna go crazy.
I would be so happy if I got somebody's Alexa, because I know there are a couple people out there that watch on their TVs. All right. Natalin, is there anything you want to do? You're the only one that hasn't taken care of any
She's doing
business
Tai
this morning.
Well, yeah, I mean, if we want to look at where Natalin is at, she's out where she would normally be, except she's not actually doing anything. She's just sitting on the ground, staring out over the ocean. That's all. That's all she's going to be spending her morning doing at this moment. Because a lot happened, and she's not feeling well.
I think looking out across the water, it's not at all uncommon when you have such a clear vista that somewhere far off to the northwest, you see dark thunderheads, and you can see very small the jagged cracks of lightning going between the clouds and the water. All right. Where would you all like to meet up to begin your trek?
Is it fair to say, I know we didn't say it the other night when we were all together at the, were we at the White Deer when, before Moa and I went to get into an
You
intentional
were at the Rusty
fight?
Dragon.
You're at the Rusty Dragon, sorry. Is it fair
And
to
y'all
say
left me
probably-
there, passed out on a table.
Well, what were we supposed to do?
And Lumi left early.
Right. And so would it be fair to say that we maybe made plans to meet up then, like before we started drinking? Like, you know, when you go out with your friends and you have to take like a team selfie before you all start drinking? And
Yeah, I feel like
making that
there's
stuff?
definitely a situation where you guys all go, listen, before everybody gets nuts, let's figure out
Let's
what's
make
the
a game
plan for the
Exactly.
next day.
So-
it's probably one of those like, oh, you know, we probably want to take the south road down, you know, past blah blah, and then it's like, and then all of a sudden someone just like brings up the idea of like, why don't we just all meet by the south
Hmm.
gate?
I like to
And
imagine.
Lumi's like, she just deflates.
Oh fuck! The South Gate is where. Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
I
yeah.
forgot. Yeah. Oh,
I
God.
like to
Well,
imagine that we all kind of side-eyed Natalin when she was like super tipsy and singing and dancing. That we were like, maybe we should meet at the Dragon.
Which is actually really super close to the
South
Sandpoint
Gate.
Bridge, which there's not
Oh.
really that. I think the Sandpoint Bridge would be sort of that where you meet before you head out of town on the Lost Coast Road, heading south of town.
Perfect.
So you all meet up
Mhm.
and begin your trek into the hinterlands. Give me a second.
Yeah, Lumi would have told everyone of the path that she had discovered that was posted in our Discord.
It's very complicated, and it sounds like a dad giving directions. I checked out about a quarter of the way in.
Well, we have to go past the Cougar Creek Road.
So
The what?
yeah. So in Owlbear Rodeo, I have opened up the Hinterlands map.
Cool.
There is a token. Who would like to
Oh.
be responsible for the token?
All of us?
I don't think I can.
I will do it.
Okay,
I
Velynia.
can't. I can't.
Are you
move it.
talking
Oh, yes,
to-
I can.
That's why I
Yay.
asked.
Sorry, I'll do it. Me. Yay!
So- The yellow line is the Lost Coast Road. The red dotted lines are the farm roads.
Yay!
So, give me a second here.
So what? We've got a Lost Coast Road it around the mountains and then hit the farm roads.
Yes.
So Lumi wants us. So Lumi would have suggested we go down this way,
Down that, like, just
and then we go down
Follow-
here and then up that.
so just
you could
skirt the
down,
mountains on the
and then
coast
up,
side.
up at the very end. Yeah.
And you would know, based on the directions that Lumi was given, you would know that when you on that first red road here, sorry, not the first
Sorry.
one, but down here,
Mhm.
each one of these squares, by the way, is a quarter mile.
Oh, psh. We're
So-
making some progress.
Yeah, so down here is Cougar Way. And then here, the first square here is the Trenel farm. And then the second square here is the Sarl farm. Those were the two farms that were mentioned. And then the road that heads sort of east towards Wisher's Well is Wisher's Way. So that's the route you're going to take. And
There should be a trail that comes up off Wisher's Well.
yeah, so go ahead.
About how many miles can we get in a day? Have you made a rule on that?
A day's travel is
10?
something like 30 miles or something like that.
30 miles?
It depends on
Jesus
your
Christ.
pace.
No,
It-
I know.
It
I
honestly
know.
depends on your pace. I got to look at the travel.
As a person who
stuff.
walks for recreation, that'd be a fucking trek.
Well,
Walking to the bodega and back for cigarettes
Okay.
for me is like half a mile.
listen, I'm talking
It's
about
20 miles per day is what it says in the book.
okay.
Oh.
But we're talking about heroes. We're not talking about real world people with our physiques.
Excuse me.
Mhm.
I will have you know my resting heart rate is 48.
I will have you know I mowed the
Perfect.
lawn last week and my heart rate hit 151.
God damn. Good for you though, man. Cardio all day.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah,
20.
this is
So
literally
this is
the
not
total
far.
distance is that you have to travel to get to where you're going is probably going to be something like a couple hours max. I want you to stop right there.
Okay.
3,
Oh, okay.
4, 6, 7, 8.
Stop
So-
right now. Thank you very much.
That's it's about, because of having them take the circuitous route around those I wouldn't really call them mountains so much as foothills, but because of that, it's very it's taking a little bit longer, and at this point you've probably been maybe walking for an hour and a half, and actually looking at the clock, it is time to take a break. So
And you have to fix Natalin.
I have to fix Natalin.
Natalin's blank.
Oh,
There she
you
is.
go.
Okay,
Hey.
we will let me line that up. We'll go ahead and take a break here, and we will come back for the second half of this session in just a few moments. See you on the other side. Let me just check. That's what I was afraid of. I have to refresh. Let's see. For this one, if I make changes, I have to refresh the cache on the thing, which does that, which is fun.
Yay.
Interact. Close that. Close that. All right, so y'all are on your way to the pit, but I've stopped you near the Trenel farm. You've passed by Trenel Farm enough times on your way in and out of Sandpoint to at least be familiar with the shape of the place. It's the closest of the Hinterlands homesteads to town, just a short walk off the Lost Coast Road. So nearly everyone around here knows of the Trenels if they don't know them specifically, but many do, especially since Lanai frequently sells jars of jams, pickled beets, cucumbers, and okra, and some of the best damn fairy bread around in the Sandpoint market. Their farm always gives off a feeling of quiet perseverance. Rows of vegetables in orderly, hard-earned lines. A narrow split-rail fence that leans in a few places. Not from neglect, but because it was built with more heart than coin. But as you approach the Trennel farm, you can tell that today something's wrong. The chickens are loose, clucking and pecking nervously in the yard. One roosts atop a tipped-over bucket, another scratches at a patch of overturned earth beside the barn. The barn door is hanging ajar, cracked wide with its latch busted clean through. In the mud just outside it lies a dead goblin, its body twisted in death, lips peeled back in a sneer frozen forever. Its crude horse chopper blade is still clutched in one clawed hand, and behind it the dirt is torn from the drag of hooves. A heavy body hauled away through the fields. You spot Morella Trennel first. She sits on a low stool at the edge of the porch, breathing hard, her face pale beneath sun-leathered skin. A ragged gash runs along her thigh, soaked through a bandage, and Lanai, her wife, kneels beside her, threading a curved needle through skin with practiced but shaking hands. Morella grits her teeth, lifts her chin, and squints toward you. Y'all ain't seen a cow running loose by any chance, have you? She kind of grits her teeth through the pain. Ah, big one! Black and white. Name's Ophelia. Ah! You see Lanai pulling the stitch taut. Or Gobbos. Maybe dragging an unwilling cow along with him? Morella...
Oh, well, no, we have not seen any cows or goblins on our way yet. May I help with that?
As you approach, you take in the scene a little bit more. Morella is tall and wiry. Her muscles lean from years of chopping wood and plowing by hand. Her brown hair is streaked with gray and pulled back in a tight braid. There's a rough strength to her, calloused hands, sun-cracked lips, and a look that says she doesn't give up. Her axe rests on the porch beside her, the blade still stained with dark goblin blood. Lanai, by contrast, is shorter and softer in build, though no less resilient. Her broad shoulders speak of days kneading dough and hauling water. Her dark curls are bound back with a faded scarf, and her freckled face is set in a mask of focus as she works. Her apron, once white, is stained with both blood and earth. You remember her laugh from the Sandpoint market, always ready with a warm smile and something fresh from the oven. But there's no laughter today. Out in the yard, leaning against a fence post like he's trying to hold it upright with will alone, is Bryn, the eldest of their 3 adopted children. 16, tall and lean. His hair is a wild halo around a freckled face pinched with anger and worry. His sling dangles from one hand, the pouch at his belt full of stones. He doesn't speak, but his eyes stare off into the distance, not leaving the trail southeast. Through the open farmhouse door on the porch, you catch a glimpse of Tavi, the 13-year-old, sitting at the kitchen table with a small knife and a lump of wood in his hands. He's broad-shouldered and stocky, his hair's cropped short, and he's dressed in patched, too small clothes that hint at a recent growth spurt. He works the blade with slow, careful precision, but there's a tension in his posture, like he's carving to keep his hands from shaking. On the floor beside the hearth, wrapped in a blanket and hugging a surprisingly compliant chicken, is Ellis, the youngest, 9, maybe 10. His face is round, his blonde curls a bit long, and his eyes, wide and dark, flick constantly between the window and the barn. He doesn't speak, but every now and then he rubs his eyes and presses his face into soft feathers of the chicken, like it might block out what happened. The whole farm feels like it's holding its breath, waiting for something to make the next move. The chickens won't settle, and the wind carries the faint smell of manure and blood. Millie, as you offer help, Lanai sort of ties off the suture and unceremoniously smacks lightly, but kind of smacks the leg. And Morella, Lanai says, "Quit your belly aching. It's all tied up." And she kind of stands up and wipes her hands on her apron, spreading more sort of bloody handprints across her apron. Oh, I appreciate the help, or the offer, I should say, but we got everything taken care of so far. Well, as far as Morella's leg's concerned. Morella speaks up. I was serious, though. Have you seen the cow?
Would I have noticed on the way in the drag marks? You mentioned drag marks of something heavy.
No, you would not have noticed. Well, on the way into the farm or on your approach to the farm?
On the, I guess either. Probably like
Make
Velynia's always watching.
I
Perception?
want to say perception, but I also want to say something else.
Survival.
I'm thinking
maybe the thing
survival.
on your tip of your tongue- tip
I
of
think
your-
survival is
Okay.
the one I'm thinking.
Fine. Ugh, 17.
I would say anybody, actually, if they wanted to, could make a survival check as you're sort of taking in this entire scene. You can also see that this farm is one that they typically are growing an assortment of vegetables in various clustered gardens and seasonal vegetables and fruits, but also they have a large green field behind them. The barn typically would house their dairy cow. They have a horse, a pony, a couple horses, a donkey, and a bunch of chickens. And yeah, you can see that sort of churned up earth. Anybody that got a 20 or higher. I'm seeing a couple 20s in there. Millie, Lumi, is that it? What you notice is you can tell that it looks like more likely than not, Morella probably came out and either caught the goblins in the act or they came while she was doing morning chores. A scuffle happened. She killed the one goblin with her axe. And it looks like the cow was dragged off towards the southeast. And there's quite a few other goblin footprints. You see at least half a dozen goblin footprints, although only 5 goblin footprints leave with the cow. The direction they went is the same direction that the 16-year-old Bryn has been staring at the edge of the fence.
Well, look at
You
that.
said
It
there
looks like
was-
there was a whole pack of them.
You said there was 6 goblin tracks that went in and 5 that left?
Yes.
Okay. I'm just making sure I'm doing my math right.
Yep.
There is one that is notably
Yeah.
dead in front of the barn.
I was making sure that the math was correct and not like there's a dozen coming in. I just
Yeah.
misheard. And
This
then 5
felt
only
like
left.
it felt like a
Yeah.
riddle. I agree.
Yeah.
Mhm,
Sorry.
mhm, mhm.
No, pretty straightforward. Sorry, Millie, what was it you said about?
Oh, she was just remarking that it looks like there was a whole pack of them. They couldn't have gotten far if they've got a cow in tow.
Well, it's been a couple hours since Bryn and I first caught them, Morella says. We were heading out to take care of the morning chores, feeding the animals out in the barn there, feeding Daisy, Cricket, Bramble, Harrow, and Ophelia.
Oh my god.
I named all of the animals.
I know.
I
was
even
so
named the
proud of you.
chickens.
Yes. What's the little one's chicken
so
that he's
fucking
hugging?
proud of
I
you.
need to know.
So I'll tell you that Flick is the chicken that young Ellis is holding. The other chickens, the ones with the most personality are Flick and Mabel. And the rooster that's kind of sitting on the overturned bucket. Can be pretty
Beelzebub.
aggressive. His name is Cluck Norris. The rest of the chickens are like Henrietta, Peep, Rosie, those kind of names.
What's the middle one's name again? The middle child, not the chicken.
That was Tavi.
Tavi.
They're all boys. 16, 13, and about 9 or 10. Anyway, Morella continues. We were feeding the animals, and, well, we were coming out to feed the animals, and went to open up the door when they come bursting out, pulling Ophelia behind them, and she was having none of it. As soon as I saw Gobbos, I took a swing with my axe and laid that one down. Bryn pinged a couple of them with his sling as they were on the way out.
Hey.
But, well...
I give an approving nod to Bryn. You said that people of Sandpoint kind of know these people.
Yeah, they're
around.
You definitely would know them. Most people know the family by sight. And more and more people, and I would imagine even a couple of you know them by name. Lanai is probably the most known one for having a presence at the presence at the market.
When she says that Bryn nailed a couple of them, I look over at him and I nod and I'm like, well struck, boy. And I just like, yeah, good for you. And then I would ask, have you all had any trouble with goblins here before?
Not really. They tend to stay. Well, honestly, I don't know that we've ever had them around here. I mean, we've heard them chittering and chattering, and usually in the night out in the hills. We know that there's goblins out and about here in the hinterlands, especially up on Devil's Platter. They tend to stay up there. Ain't got no reason why we'd think they'd be coming down here, let alone stealing Ophelia.
Well, if they're stealing a cow, it's likely because something is amiss within their ranks. I mean, what does a cow do but provide food, milk, cheese, etc., meat?
Bryn looks at you and he finally speaks up. I wanted to go after him. Not to try to fight him or anything. I just wanted to see where they was going. Get an idea where their camp is, or where the tribe set up, or whatever. I don't know, goblins. They's in packs or tribes or families or whatnot. But after I plinked a couple of them, I started to head after, and I didn't think they was seeing me, but one of them turned around at me and started cussing me out. Said they just wanted the cow. Said that if I took another step, they'd come back and they'd kill the rest of the family. I did listen to him.
Can I make a sense motive on him? Can I,
Yeah.
see, does that ignite a particular rage in him? Fuck me. I'm rolling like shit tonight. That is a 16.
I mean, enough you can tell he definitely wanted to take care of his family.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got the look and the build, I guess. He's kind of lanky and like he could move quietly. Like if Mama had let him, he'd have snuck away and found out things. But he goes, now I couldn't follow him much further than the fence line here. But there's a couple things I noticed about him. One, they went that way. I think they was avoiding the road, going out, skirting around Sarl's farm. But they was definitely heading toward the Wisher's way. Probably looking to see if they can't find a place. If they up on the platter, they got to find a place where they can get Ophelia up them walls, and there ain't a whole lot of places except by Wisher's Well. But there was something weird about these Gobbos. Well, you can see it on this one here if you want to take a look. And he pulls away from the fence and kind of glances back in the direction they went. And take a look at this one over here that Mama killed. And he leads you over to the dead goblin. Anybody that wants to follow and
I go.
look. Yeah. And you see that that goblin didn't stand a chance. Morella put her axe right into its chest and dropped it. The horse chopper that's in its hand is like a crude pole arm. It's like a wicked piece of jagged, sharpened metal attached to the end of a long pole. That they call them horse choppers because goblins notoriously hate and fear horses, and they like to be able to chop their legs down and take care of them. Doesn't look like you got to do much with that weapon, but
loser.
You see this goblin staring blank-eyed up into the sky, its lips curled back, and he goes, "Look at his fangs, look at his teeth. Looks like they put holes in them on purpose." And you see that some of the larger teeth from where the canines and the front teeth are have drilled holes through the teeth.
What the fuck?
I think I know why they did that. When they was heading off, I don't know if you ever seen goblins or heard goblins and the way they chatter away at one another. And
I glance over at Natalin when he says that. I'm like, no, we don't have much experience with goblins. And I elbow Natalin.
These Gobbos, they didn't so much talk to one another as though they whistled at one another.
Oh, wow!
And it wasn't like they was like when we're rounding up the chickens or calling the horses or anything like that. It was like they had a way of whistling, and the whistles were different. Some of them were short and sharp, and some were longer, and they would be like a short whistle and a long whistle. Or almost like a
code of some sort.
Yeah, like they were speaking to one another in whistles. I ain't never heard nothing like that. And he kind of looks back at where Lanai is helping Morella see if her leg will take weight. It looks like one of them used their horse chopper and caught her good in the upper leg. She's wincing with pain. She's trying to hide it. And he just glances back and he goes, "I don't know what y'all are up to right now, but if y'all head that way and wouldn't mind keeping an eye out for Ophelia, she's our family's source of milk. And I'll be honest, even with what Mama sells at the market, we can't afford another cow."
We can make the time, I'm sure. I look around at us.
Well, we appreciate that. If you find it and can bring it back to us, it would mean a lot.
Of course.
If the goblins already did in Ophelia, maybe just tell me and I can break the news to my mamas.
I put my hand on his shoulder and I say, try not to worry. They wouldn't take a cow if they just needed meat. There's plenty of animals between here and there.
I think I guess I'm just worried they're gonna come back after the pony or the donkey or the horses.
Do you have any other ways to defend yourself here? Do you need weapons, money to buy weapons?
I got my sling, and Mama's got her axe. We're gonna have to spend the day. I'm gonna fix this door, and we're gonna have to see if. I was thinking maybe I could figure out some way to put a lock up high or something out of Goblin's reach.
Well, I believe you and your brothers may want to take shifts. Ellis the shortest, of course, but keep watch throughout the night. If we encounter those goblins, we will send them a message, I promise. And they will not return, but if they return in the meantime, if they somehow sneak around us, just watch the gate throughout the night, so they don't get the drop on you.
We'll be. Mama Morella already said she's gonna be sure to keep an eye out for them. Listen, if you do find the goblins, make sure you kill every last one of them bastards.
I would kind of shrug and I'd be like, I'm of the mind that we should kill all but one. We need one to send back the message of what we did to the others. And that way they will not bother you again.
He kind of looks thoughtfully at you as you say that, and you see him scowl a little bit at the idea of leaving one alive, but he kind of seems satisfied with the idea of at least the others meeting your blades. Well, we really do appreciate. He speaks up a little louder, kind of like he just settled the deal. And in fact, he holds his hand out to you, Velynia, and says,
I give him that cool Xena handshake where they grab wrists.
says, well, I appreciate it. And my mama's appreciate it too. If you can find Ophelia and bring her back for us. And he kind of gives you a wink.
Cool.
And he walks back in the other direction with you and says to both of his mamas, he says, they're going to keep a lookout for Ophelia and take care of any Gobbos that might have been involved if they can. And Morella says, well, I'd come with you if I could. She kind of just glances down at her bandaged leg. But I'll settle for, well, you all seem a little more outfitted for this kind of work. Just know that you
need to stay and take care of the family, of course.
Yeah, you have our gratitude. And Lanai says, whenever you come back this way, whether or not you found Ophelia, please do stop by and let us feed you a healthy, hearty, home-cooked meal.
Of course, we'll do that.
And she runs up on the porch, and you hear her rummaging around in a cupboard, and she comes out, and she's holding, she's kind of got her apron up, and in it you can hear glass clinking as she hands you 4 jars, 1 jar of pickled beets.
I was thinking this is either potions or jams.
It's a jar of jam, a jar of pickled beets, a jar of pickled cucumbers or pickles, and a jar of pickled okra.
Oh my god, yes, dude.
Oh, I love pickled okra.
This is better than healing potions.
Let me just check real quick. Because I do have something here.
No trigger warnings for pickles. love pickles.
What'd you say? Trigger warning for pickles.
I say no. I thought you were when you were gonna check. I was like, does anybody hate pickles enough that we need a red light?
No.
No,
I'm checking.
Extreme pickle haters
I'm checking
in my
our. Oh, this might actually work. Let me check this real quick. I'll double check later. But I have I have an entire list of alchemical foods. If you recall, early on, somebody got some cooperative waffles, and I think there was a.
I took a drink that turned me blue, I believe.
A Sprite apple as well. Oh wait, please tell me this has got to be it right here.
This is typically the point where I would do an ad for redbubble.com. Unfortunately, I only do one per show,
So somebody remind me. But each one of these jars contains one pucker pickle.
So,
That sounds so dirty.
doing what to her now?
What the fuck is a pucker pickle?
Pucker pickle?
I will.
Pucker.
So
I hardly know it.
I'll give you more details later. But in essence, a pucker pickle. When you eat it, it makes you taste horrific to other creatures, making monsters not want to eat you.
It's like bitter apple, but for all of you.
Yeah.
A pucker pickle.
Lumi will go up to this family, and she'll be like, "Are any of you decent with a crossbow?" She says, as she will unclasp from like her side little bandolier a hand crossbow that has been enhanced with a rune, and she'll unclasp and hand over all of her bolts that she has with it. That's about 50 bolts.
Whoa.
God damn.
She'll hand these.
It's gonna be like Rambo.
She'll. It's just a hand crossbow. It's like a little tiny thing.
Sorry.
And as she hands them over, as she lends this, she's like, in case there's any more that come back while we're gone.
By this point,
I give Lumi
Tavi.
a concerned look when she's handing over her fucking like this ranged weapon, which could be useful on our trip.
By this point, the middle 13-year-old Tavi has sort of come away from the kitchen table and come out onto the porch. And as you offer this, Bryn says, "Well, I got my sling." And Morella kind of says, "I ain't much for distance weapons." She kind of picks up the axe that she killed the goblin with. She goes, "I like to get up and close with critters and varmints." But Tavi here's a hell of a shot. And Tavi steps forward and will take the...
Oh, he's the 13-year-old.
He's
right?
a 13-year-old.
Mm-hmm. So, eye to eye, Lumi is... Actually, no, Tavi's probably taller than Lumi at this point.
He's probably taller
13-year-old.
because
Yeah.
he's obviously had a bit of a growth spurt, but he's also up on the porch above you a little bit. But he'll actually he'll drop down into so he's sitting on the edge of the porch, so that if you come up the stairs, you can kind of see, like, part way you see eye to eye to him. And
Lumi will talk with Tavi through how the crossbow works. Like, okay, well, this is the spring mechanism. You want to load the darts into here, and you want to draw this winch back until you hear the click, and then simplest point and shoot. And then she'll even like do a demonstration, like often, like maybe there's like a tree or something that's like 15 feet away, and go twang, and yeah, and we'll offer the crossbow over to him and let him give a try.
You hand him the crossbow, and he takes one of the bolts and carefully loads it in, and he kind of feels it, the heft of it. You said it's just a hand crossbow, right?
It's a +1 hand crossbow. Yeah.
He takes it after sort of feeling the heft of it, and he suddenly turns very quickly, and you just hear "Phoom," and the bolt thunks into the head of the dead goblin.
Oh my god.
So I gave minor like levels or classes to each of these family members.
If any
And
of these kids are the same level we are, I'm gonna be a little pissed.
Tavi is level. No, I'm just kidding. Tavi,
Level 7.
they're none of them are up to your level at all. But Tavi is a ranged weapon user.
Oh. Perfect.
So he was the perfect one. And come on, this is the equivalent of giving the 13-year-old the 22
BB
or
gun.
the BB
A
gun.
Red Ryder 200 shot range model air rifle.
You shoot your eye out, kid.
Nice football.
Thank you. We appreciate this. Morella says.
Oh.
Tavi doesn't say anything,
I was gonna say-
but he does hold out his hand to you, Lumi. Like this. He's got something in it.
And she'll like tilt her head to the side, like, oh, what's this? And she'll open up her hand. It's like open her hand to let him drop it into it.
And he drops a carved piece of wood into your hand.
Oh.
And you see that he has carved with surprising detail a small wooden cow.
Doing this.
Oh my god.
It's
That is the
Ophelia.
sweetest thing ever. It's Ophelia. Oh.
Is it like it's just like a little like chiseled little like
It's
wooden
bigger than
cow,
that.
right?
It's closer to like when you buy those plastic farm sets.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah.
you know like maybe 3 inches long.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
So I think what Lumi's gonna do is she's actually gonna like produce like a small bit of like string from her sack or her bag on her side. And she's gonna like tie a little bit of string around like around the midsection of the cow, around the legs, whatever. And she's gonna like affix it to her armor up in like in near the shoulder area.
Very cool.
And she's
Oh my
gonna tap it.
god. Oh. That's so sweet, dude. I think this whole time Velynia has been kind of like already maybe even off to the side scouting the path, like going where Bryn had mentioned they exited towards, and starting to like look for like at the tracks and like stuff like that.
Yeah, and you see
Not leaving or anything, but just scouting.
you can clearly see where they went. I mean, it's 5 goblins dragging a reluctant cow. And you guys can follow the path and find that after about 3/4 of a mile, it picks back up on the Wisher's Way, the same direction you were heading. And continuing along on your path, you see that the tracks continue. When you get to Wisher's Well area, you see that there's the ruins of an old hold on, let me get you this
We're at Wisher's Well. I remembered this as my job.
Thanks, Cari.
You're
You're doing a
welcome.
great job. You're doing a great
Thanks.
job.
Thanks. You guys always take such good notes and do such good numbery things. I can move the piece. My
you see that there is a 30-foot tall stone tower, and the inside of this tower, and it's a ruined decrepit tower, you see that inside it drops down into the ground at least 100 feet before you see that there's just dark water down there. There's many stories and rumors over the years of this being haunted by ghosts. There's rumors that of people that have disposed of their enemies in Wisher's Well. It's also often actually thought of that the Scarnettis have gotten rid of people that they don't like by dropping them down Wisher's Well. But what's more notable is just a little ways north of this, the whole way you've been walking sort of along this escarpment known as the Devil's Platter, you see that they're climbable but pretty steep cliff faces.
Not
but
climbable for a cow.
But here at Wisher's Well, it's difficult terrain, but climbable by anybody taking the time, and you can see where some rocks have been flipped over, and there's freshly churned earth, where not long before you, it looks like several goblin feet have been dragging a cow up this hill.
Well,
It would seem these goblins, 5 dragons.
sweet Jesus, we are level 5.
It's either dragons gobbling a cow or goblins dragging a cow. But you can see they seem to be heading in the same direction you are. Are you climbing the platter?
Yeah, nowhere to go but up. It looks like they were heading the same way we were. And I think
Definitely.
I would kind of like, I don't know where it happens. If it happens now, I'd be like, and Lumi, by the way, I don't think it's a good idea for you to leave your ranged weapon with that child. I mean, we could
I think
need
that
it.
as you're saying that, she has unholstered one of her throwing knives, or one of her throwing stars, and kind of like twirls it around in her finger a little bit. I'll be fine, she says, a bit abrasively to you.
Sure you will. And I imagine we climb, yeah.
I need all of you to not look at Owlbear Rodeo for a quick moment. I'm going to change the map, but I can't remember if I undid something.
Gotcha.
So
Well,
give me
Jake,
1
check the
second
map.
as the
Check
map
us out
changes.
on redbubble.com, as this is kind of the mid-season finale, sort of, kind of. I guess I'll do 2 ads. Redbubble.com, you can get all kinds of great t-shirts like the one I'm wearing and so many others. You can get our logos on t-shirts, tank tops, hoodies, mugs, stickers, notebooks, pillows, and all kinds of other great stuff. Redbubble.com almost always has a deal, especially if it's your first time. So check us out today on redbubble.com. Just search Mini Terrain Domain.
All right, you can go ahead and look and go ahead and add your tactical information to your tokens. I'm assigning your ownership to your characters. Lumi, and then I just realized I did not add. Oops. Let's do.
Whoa, Lumi, that is too many points. Lumi's an eldritch god.
Just because you started getting your wings in doesn't mean.
Like, I feel so confident right now. 1,000 hit points.
All right, Millie, you should have ownership of your cat. So you guys are on the edge of this map, but you're not quite to the peak yet. When you begin to hear these sharp whistles, you hear the clanging of a cowbell and distressed
Oh my god.
and as you peer over the edge, you see
Oh, there she is.
hold on a second. I forgot that I had changed the name of the cow. Originally, I was naming. Oh no, that's never mind. I didn't. It's just not showing up on here for some reason. You see
the goblin names.
Yeah, you see some goblins. They are Mouth, Pip, Squeak, Jeremy, and Stank.
Are Pipsqueak twins, by chance?
Yeah. Oh, come on.
Yeah, you do see two goblins that look very similar. Ophelia the cow has a burlap sack over her head.
Oh.
And is frightened and blinded. And the goblins are dragging her towards the edge of this big 50-foot hole in the ground where you can see multiple scratch marks. You can see remnants of old hide and fur and dried blood all along this edge.
Oh my God.
It looks like they are dragging Ophelia to try to push her down into the pit.
I would yell immediately. Stop! Like, just to get their attention and stop Ophelia from dying!
You immediately hear sharp whistles from them, and they all turn. All of these Gobbos turn and look at you in surprise, really, at seeing anybody there.
Hey Jacob, you forgot to put alternating on the map.
Thank you.
Yep.
Is alternating another goblin?
No, it has to do with the way the movement aligns with Pathfinder movement. So you've got their attention, and they immediately tighten up. And they are holding their horse choppers at the ready, and let's roll for initiative.
Hell yeah, let's do it.
Thick.
Give me 1 second. I will ask for your info. Oh wait, let me do the thing.
Yeah, you gotta. We can do it ourselves. Look at that.
Hold on. Can I? How do I add?
You just you just right click the token and click add to initiative, and you can if you just grab everyone, like in a big.
Yeah, where's the? I right click, but I don't see add to initiative.
No.
Give me a second. Not when I select all.
It's near the top.
Not when you select all. Maybe it's because I selected all of you. That's weird.
Yeah.
Why is it not letting me add?
How about you keep track of it on paper tonight, and we can all just
there it is.
Maintain our own. Oh, it's like the Chad rule. As soon as I mention another
as soon
way,
as you try to give some advice,
it's like, oh, never mind, I figured it out.
Never mind, your advice is useless.
Just kidding. Go fuck yourself.
All right. Let's see. They have. Where's their perception? Whoops, I was there. Whoops, it's blocking. I can't see.
Oh.
16. All right.
I just moved myself a little bit forward because I imagine I stepped forward triumphantly as I said my little piece there. I figured that was fair. 5 foot, 5 foot step. You know what? My God, this range is what, about 30 feet? Be a hell of a range for a hand crossbow.
Looks like the goblins are getting, even though let me check something real quick.
Jake, I have a question while you're checking something, just a ruling. Could I say that I drew my sword as I was making my triumphant declaration of no?
I'll allow it
Thank
for
you.
now.
I feel like that'd be appropriate. Oh, okay.
I mean, you
Super.
could have drawn your sword when you saw that Lumi had her throwing stars out.
Well,
Okay.
we were on our way up the mountain.
So yeah,
Mhm.
the goblins are going to go first. I think all of the goblins beat you guys.
God damn.
There's
A
a
lot of
quick
21s.
shout of or not shout, but a couple of quick chirps of whistles. I never wished I could whistle more. And
You go get
they
noise
begin
gate.
to take up a little bit more of a spread here. Range is 6. Okay, so I'm just gonna do this.
Break you.
I'm gonna do this real quick with. Oh, I keep reaching for dice that are digital.
I keep
so-
trying to move things on the Zoom
Yeah,
screen.
that's gonna be. Each goblin is going to attack each one of you. So I'm going to go down the line. Velynia, does a 26 hit you?
Yeah.
All right. Millie, does a 15 hit you?
Nope.
Moa, dang it.
Remember, Jake, we're all 22s.
Oh yeah, I can see your ACs. 15 for Moa.
Nope.
Natalin. That is a dirty 20. And Lumi, that's going to be a whopping 13. So Velynia is the only one getting hit. The goblins are
Except Velynia doesn't make a sound. We've established this. God damn you, you motherfucker! Ooh, which one?
sorry,
hit me?
I rolled the
need
wrong.
to
I
know.
rolled the wrong one. They're marked
Okay.
deadly, so it's actually a D10. Oh, you almost took max damage. That's a 4.
Now that they're named, which
Oh,
goblin
wait.
hits me? I need to know.
Yeah. Never mind. So 4 points of damage from the first one that attacked you was mouth. That puts us into Lumi. You're up next.
How much damage do I take, bro?
I just told you 4.
Or oh, sorry, I didn't hear.
Lumi
That puts me at
will
69.
Nice. Lumi will produce her esoterica. She knows, in general, what goblins might be weak to, but she has to make a roll for this anyways, as she tries to conjure together an exploitation of vulnerability as my first action, where I will make a esoteric lore check against a standard DC of its level as I produce esoterica to bolster my weapon strengths. That's going to be a whatever this is plus 13, 23.
Hmm.
Let me know if that's a success or a crit, because it's different.
What? So I don't remember what you roll against when you're doing this.
A standard DC of its level.
Oh, a 23 is absolutely a crit.
Okay, perfect. So this probably won't matter. But I learn all of its weaknesses, resistances, immunities, the numbers associated with it, and if things might get past like anti-magic or something. And I'm assuming that goblins don't have anything like that.
Nope, they're just goblins.
Yeah, so
they don't have anything special like that.
So I'll be creating a personal antithesis to these goblins, a custom weakness on goblin kind. It's going to be like horsehair, some dog teeth, and like tomatoes or something. I can't remember the third thing that goblins hate. But she produces these bits of esoterica that she uses to occultically bolster her weapon strikes. So now these goblins have a custom weakness to my weapon attacks, equal to 5. Have weakness 5 to my weapon attacks.
Okay.
Badass.
That was my first action. And And then I will...
Vegetables. Goblins are terrified of horses. They hate dogs. And they despise vegetables. Except
I was right. Yeah,
they consider pickles a delicacy.
Oh.
Tomatoes are a fruit, though.
They're also a
Okay.
vegetable.
I was
Something
just
can
being
be a fruit and
pedantic.
a vegetable,
I was just
by the
being
way.
pedantic for.
Okay. I then move 25 feet up, kind of skirting the edge of the pit here. And I will be tossing my star knife upon Mr. Pip, who's in perfect distance of me.
All right.
So I'll make a strike against him as I whip out my star knife.
Does it make a
And
cool sound when it's flying through the air?
It's actually
Like-
I think it's probably silent.
Dead silent. Cool.
Yeah. That's going to be 17 plus 14. That's 31 to hit.
Yeah, that's a crit.
That's a crit. Oh my goodness. Okay. How does does deadly damage on? Oh, that's the wrong one. Okay. So 2d8. How the crits are
Double damage.
roll damage and then double it. Okay. Bonk bonk. So it'd be 30 slashing damage.
God damn.
Wait, what?
Oh, sorry. 30 slashing damage and then the weakness.
Where's
so
the 30?
35.
Where's the 30 come from? 7 and 3 is 10.
So, yeah, plus 5. I have a plus 5 modifier,
Oh yeah.
and then double
Okay,
it to
I got
30.
you. I got you. I forgot
and then
about
add on
the.
the weakness. Yeah,
So
Pip is dead, or whichever
the
one. you hit.
35. 35 slashing to Mr. Pip.
God, Squeak is gonna be so pissed at you, dude.
nope, I just did the wrong thing. I healed him on accident.
You've set his AC
Boo.
to 35.
Boo. Oh, Pip! Down for the fucking
That's
count, bro.
what you want to see, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
so it's 35,
is-
team.
That is my
That-
3 actions. As
Wow.
I stride like super like limberly through the grasses and rocks. Up
I
on
look
this,
admiringly at
on the edge of the
Lumi.
pit.
I think. So your star knife, does it return to you?
Nope. It only returns when I do a little gesture over a sigil on my bandolier.
Okay,
It makes
so-
everything resummon.
So I need you to roll a D100, Lumi. There's a 50%
Perfect.
chance that Pip falls into the pit.
The Pip Pit?
Oh lord.
The
Okay,
pit
sorry.
pit.
Got a 29.
A 51. So 29 and 25 is 54.
29 to 51
No.
is 22.
51 is what I is wait, what? Yeah, I don't know what math I was just doing. At all.
Invented
At all.
a new form of
Oh
calculus.
no. I was
That
doing the
happens-
25.
That
Sorry.
happens to me so
Yeah,
often.
no, I was doing because it's 20.
Mm.
It's 24 on either side, or 25 on either side of the number you rolled. Technically,
Yeah, so
24.
And the
So
distance
it's this
22.
is within. So if your knife is embedded in Pip, Pip has fallen down 20 feet into the pit.
All right.
Oh,
It's all good.
my
I
God.
don't think it'll be an issue with the retrieval since you retrieved your not star knife, the other thing from like
From like
50
2 3
miles
miles
Yeah,
away.
yeah. Right.
All right.
She's got many throwable objects, so we're good.
Is that you, Lumi?
Yep, that was all 3 actions.
Natalin.
I'm done.
Velynia, you're not in my initiative order for some reason.
I don't know where the initiative order is. Is it?
All
do
right.
I
What
push?
number did you get for your initiative?
I'm so sorry. I got a dirty 20.
Okay.
So I
So
actually should be next. I'm so sorry.
that was I didn't add you to the initiative, so why are you
Okay.
there you are. So yeah, you would be
There
up
I am.
next, followed by
I
Natalin.
am there now. Okay. So what I'm gonna do, I guess, is I'm gonna go 5, 10, 15. What is my movement? 5, 10, 15. I think it's 30, 20. And I'm gonna go. I'm gonna hit Jeremy with my sword. I'm gonna try to hit him. Here I go.
Make sure you're checking your movement because it's set up for Pathfinder movement. You've moved 25 feet.
Oh, I apologize. I was just going on.
It
squares.
works in. It doesn't work. Straight diagonals are not 5 feet.
My bad.
You're
I'm
fine.
sorry.
You're just.
Am I okay to be
You're,
there?
you're
where
still.
I'm at right now?
Yeah. You have 30 feet of movement, right?
Yes, I think so.
So you're good.
Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna hit the fuck out of Jeremy, and here I go.
It's
That's a 28 to hit Jeremy.
that is a crit. That is spelled Jeremy, but it's pronounced Jeremy.
Jeremy. Okay, perfect. I figured. I think I'm gonna pronounce it that way either way. You said it's a crit?
It is.
God damn. Is Jeremy flat-footed
No.
or unaware or whatever the thing is now? No. Okay. Okay.
It's
here I go.
off guard is what they call it.
Off guard. Thank you. Okay. So that's goddamn. That's a D6, and I rolled a 6 and a 5. So that's 11 plus 4 is 15 times 2 is 30.
It's lower
30
than
points.
35. So
30 points of damage. Well, maybe you did some overkill there, Lumi. We'll find out quickly here. Oh, Jeremy's dead too. What do you know?
Jeremy's dead.
Can I reach Squeak from where I'm at?
You're basically in that square. Yeah, you could reach Squeak.
Can I? Okay, I want to try to attack Squeak too. So minus 4 makes it a 23 to hit Squeak.
It's a hit, not a crit.
Not a crit. Okay. So 4 plus 4 is 12. 12 points of damage on Squeak.
Squeak, true to his name, lets out quite a squeak when you hit him,
Ooh.
but he's not down.
I'm thinking like 18, team. I think 18 is the mark. If that's 12. Just
All
throwing
right,
out
is that
some
the end of your
percentage.
turn?
Yes, sir. I'm done.
Natalin, you're up.
All right. Natalin is going to move 30. Select. Nope. Let's try that again. 30 feet, and then I believe that puts. Yes. I'm going to at that point. So she strides forward. The air starts crackling as she's going, and as she gets forward, she shoots both hands forward, one towards Stank, one towards Squeak. I am casting Electric Arc. They need to make basic reflex saves, please. As an arc of lightning, striking one and then zoops to the other.
Stank gets a 26.
Okay, so he passes.
And
DC's 21.
Squeak gets a 25.
Damn.
Wow.
They both. Is this if you miss, they take no damage?
This is just a cantrip.
So they.
No. It's as a basic. It's a basic reflex save. That means
Oh,
you do
okay.
Oh yeah,
You
if
do
it's
half
basic,
damage
then
on a
it is
success.
half damage.
Oh, I get to roll that. Okay, so it's 44. I rolled a bunch of ones, so total of 8
There's
electricity.
for each of them.
Do you want me to? Yeah, I just rolled once. Do
No,
you
that's
want me to
fine.
roll
That's fine. You don't have to roll. I'm just wanted to clarify. Squeak lets out his last squeak as the electricity hits him. And Stank is A little singed from the electrical arc.
Ooh, yeah.
Is that you?
Yeah, that's my 3 turns. my 3
Moa'Kee.
actions.
You're muted?
There we go. There we go. So Moa'Kee moves up his 25 feet up here. Green energy surround his hands, and they are currently empty. And he moves both of them in kind of a crisscross motion. And he's casting Slashing Gust. And he's going to attack both the remaining goblins with the same spell. And let me roll this up here real quick. Come on, dice, be good. Let's have some
good.
So the first one is going to be a 22.
That's a hit.
And the second one is going to be a 30.
The 30 is a crit.
Okay, so that was on the guy in the back, I'm assuming, because first.
Yep.
So, this is going to be nice. So it is 44. So the first guy took 10 points of slashing damage. And the guy in the back takes 13 points of slashing damage, but because it is a crit, a success, he is going to take 3d4 persistent bleed damage at the end of his turn.
So he took how much?
He took 13 points, and then he's going to take another 10 at the end.
Yeah, but that
of his
13 would
round.
be doubled to 26 because it was a crit.
Oh, that's right. That is 26. You are correct. So yeah, with 2 slashing motions.
And Millie, as it is your turn, there's no Gobbos left. The rest of your party have wiped them out.
Millie just steps forward and goes, "Well, good job with that." And she will go and unmask the cow.
Yay!
You pull the
Sack.
the sack off of Ophelia's head, and Ophelia is no longer blinded, but is
Soothe her,
frightened.
Millie. Soothe her. If anyone can soothe something, it's Millie.
Millie's going, "Oh, you poor dear, look at you." And then she turns to Monte Cristo and she says, "Now, if you don't mind, I can use the thing, I can use the thing I usually use with you on this poor scared." Monte Cristo just kind of like snorts and grooms. He doesn't give a fuck. And Millie's going to pull out her wand of pampered pet and touch the cow. This is going to, hold on, I've got my action. I didn't get to take still up here. Let's see here.
What is the equivalent of animal handling in Pathfinder? I can't find it.
Nature?
We're not even gonna have to go there, y'all. Millie uses her wand of pampered pet on him. So the cow immediately is transported to an extra-dimensional space that is luxurious and spacious. The food is delicious gourmet cuisine tailored to the pet's palate. The habitat is the perfect temperature and environment for the pet, complete with comfortable bed or lounging area. A pair of phantom hands pamper the pet, patting, grooming, or playing with it at the creature's whim.
Can I be a pet?
Yeah, right. That sounds delightful.
Ophelia's never going to want to go back to her
But
owners.
what you see is the scared cow, and then suddenly, boop, he's gone.
What the fuck? Millie, what did you do?
Oh, Oh, I just stored Ophelia temporarily into the extra dimensional space that I usually send Monte Cristo to.
Oh, so can we like transport her in there? Is that?
Oh yeah,
something-
she's snug as a bug.
Oh.
Can she breathe?
Lumi's imagining a cow in the size of like a space that would normally fit a cat.
Oh yeah.
When you say snug as a bug,
It's
like cramped in a little
quite
cat
a
box.
large, comfortable place, and she will be well attended to. Isn't that right, Monte Cristo? He's still grooming.
All right.
Mark in your inventory that you have Ophelia the cow.
As soon as we get Ophelia squared away, Velynia is looking down into the pit. It's kind of staking out the area.
Yeah.
And also, Lumi will conjure back her returning star knife from the pit.
From about 20 feet down, you see the dead goblin, and you just hear that sort of as your star knife pops loose and comes flying up at you. All of you can see clearly the pit.
The rain is gone.
Yeah. A vast hole yawning in the rocky plateau, measuring a good 50 feet in diameter, drops away into a fog-filled shadows below. The sides of the pit are steep, nearly vertical, and are relatively smooth, without many obvious handholds. The bottom of the pit is shrouded by a thick layer of fog that starts 50 feet down. A 5-foot wide ledge creeps along the eastern side of the pit, about 20 feet from the rim. A rickety-looking wooden ladder leads down to this ledge from the pit's southern edge, and additional ladders connect even deeper ledges, disappearing down into the fog layer below. The air around the edge of the pit feels colder. It's silent within, but it feels like the type of untrustworthy quiet that could at any moment give vent to an unnerving scream. Now, if you go to Owlbear Rodeo, well, where you are, I guess, and you zoom out on your map, you will see the other two layers that you can see.
Oh. Okay. Ooh. Cultist ledge?
And sort of in the vein of a great place to end, who's going to climb down the ladder first?
I think Lumi is.
Lumi, move your token to the ladder, please.
Mhm. Can I go down the layer, or do I want me up on the top?
Right there.
I go right after Lumi. I'm right behind her.
Whoa, it teleports!
Each of you
Does it
move your
really?
token.
Do we want to try to scout this out first a little bit?
I mean,
We can handle that. Any scouting checks and stuff. This is just sort of the cinematic ending. I would like
Oh.
each of you to move your token to the ladder and release it.
oh my god, that's so cool! Ah, I'm delighted. That's great. Just drop it on the ladder and it goes down, bro.
I'm going to move on the stream so people can see where you all are popping up.
Oh man.
Did we search the goblins?
Nah, bro.
We
they're
can take
naked.
care of
Okay.
that when we resume in August. There's a thing I got to double check how to do it, but I think I can set. I didn't want it to scatter your arrivals because I don't want you to accidentally be in the pit.
Can't have that.
But has everybody descended?
Yep.
So yeah, I learned how to do something apparently Vi didn't know about, which is to set invisible portals so that
I knew that these exist, but I haven't set them up myself, and I was really happy to see that you did.
I set them up as invisible portals, which was not tricky, but I had to work some magic to do it. For the pit, anytime you use stairs or a ladder, simply moving your token will move you to the appropriate level. Don't do so now. As you descend, and we see you all descending down this ladder into the pit and disappearing below ground, just 20 feet. Almost all of the ambient noise from the Devil's Platter seems to vanish. You feel the oppressiveness of, even though it's open sky above you, you feel the pressing cold. And you feel the pressing earth around you as you descend into these depths. You can't see how far down it goes because at a certain level it disappears into darkness. A thick layer of fog covering everything. But one thing all of you feel is unseen and unheard. But you all feel like you're being watched. And that's where we're going to end this session.
Boy. Yay, 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 yay. I'm glad that we saved the cow. That was my primary concern. I was very concerned about the cow.
Would you say that you were concerned? No, like...
I was concerned 100%.
So fun fact, as everybody knows, this is a pre-written module, but I always like to put my own little twists on it. The encounter with the goblins dragging the cow was simply written as, if you'd like, you could have the party encounter a group of goblins taking a cow to the ledge. That was it. From that, I created the entire Trennel family farm, all of the named animals, the missing cow. Because to me, it felt very much like like you're on your way to this location and you stumble into a quest in Baldur's Gate, where you see that at the Trennel farm, you just see a little exclamation mark. Somebody wants to talk to you. Mm-hmm. And I figured if there's a cow that's missing, it came from somewhere. So
right.
What I didn't expect was that Millie was able to just go, "Hey, this cow is now my pocket cow."
Yeah, pocket cow.
Oh yeah, here. If anyone's curious, I put it in the Twitch chat and here.
What, the wand?
This was my magic item that I picked at the very beginning.
I was looking at it when you said what it was. It's really cool. I don't see anything that specifies that it has to be an animal, though.
A creature's whim.
What?
Well, creatures.
It says a creature's whim.
I also noticed it didn't have a size limit.
Yeah, it doesn't. It just says...
It also says pet.
People can be pets?
It also says you're
named.
casting pet
The cow
cash.
is named. It counts.
Okay, so...
It does say you're casting pet cash.
But pet cash says...
One willing creature that is your...
One willing creature... that is your companion, so...
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I feel like there's ways in which you could turn one of your companions. You could.
Well, I guess technically this shouldn't have worked since Ophelia's not our.
Well, by the time even if
now.
you took some time to calm her down, she's a cow. As soon as you rescued her, took the thing off her head, she's going to start to calm down, and it would have worked.
Monte Cristo might be a little upset because he's not going to have his digs for the night, but...
What if they became besties?
If you have a cow in your pet cache and something happens to Monte Cristo, what happens to Monte Cristo?
Oh, it's what is it? The pet cache doesn't matter at all because
Monte Cristo's a
familiar world rules work the way they work regardless. So.
Woo! Fun.
Badass, dude.
All right. Well, I wanted to get in one little combat in before the end here because we haven't had a chance to fight for a little while, and get you guys the introduction to a new hole for you to delve into. So thank you all. reminder that this is our last session until the first week of August. So it's a great time this month to catch up on all of the VODs that you've missed. And actually, technically, when we return, I told you Chapter 2 was going to be short. We are starting on Chapter 3, though elements of Chapter 2, Strange Times in Sandpoint, are going to occur at different times as you return to Sandpoint. But we will return with episode 24, Chapter 3, Whistles in the Dark.
Ooh.
So, make sure
These
you
little
got
fuckers.
you've annotated anything you gave away or you acquired, because it's going to be a month before we play again.
I noted on my crossbow that it is lent away.
I am very glad to be taking a break for the month, but I will miss playing with everybody. But know this, players and audience, I will be using this month to prepare all of the rest of the maps in Owlbear Rodeo and any little fun tips and tricks. And whatever else I can do, such as portaling ladders and weather effects and whatever else, to make this an even more immersive experience. Because these maps that were provided with this adventure are pretty cool, and I want you all to get the most out of it. So with that, a thank you, as always, to everybody who tuned in to join us. And just a huge thank you to all of you players. I love playing this campaign with you. I'm excited that we're getting into the real meat of the adventure.
The dooms.
And you're actively pursuing dooms now. So
The real meat of the whole.
yeah, get into the real meat of the whole.
You know,
So
like you do.
yeah. So with that, I will say a very sincere thank you to each one of you. That even though we won't be playing for a month, maybe we'll hang out on Discord a couple times this month. But in the meantime, a huge thank you, as always, to Vi, Kaeryn, Tamiko, Cari, and Jay, without whom this would just be me delving into holes by myself. With that, we're going to end this stream the same way we end every stream, and you can say it with me if you want.
Oh,
Oh, nasty.
Y'all nasty.